Hello everyone, my name is Sagar Vakasia and I'm from Macintosh & Son. And in this video, we are going to show you how you can create a prescription onto new FieldOps portal. This is just one of the video of our How to FieldOps series. If you want to know more about FieldOps portal and navigate and do the process onto the FieldOps, do follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out the videos on How to FieldOps playlist, where you will find heaps of other videos onto the FieldOps portal, how you can do particular stuff that you're looking for. That being said, let's start the process. You must be signed into your FieldOps portal, and you should have some sort of an yield data, application data, or anything as a base reference data to create a management zone and then assign a rate to it. Or what you can do is you can use the external third-party web applications or applications where you can create a management zone and then download that management zones as a shapefile and upload it in here, so you can assign a rate to it and send that prescription straight to machine. Or you can create a prescription and management zone both into the third-party applications and download it as a shapefile, upload it in here and send it to machine. So let's say I've selected the field number 53 Stevenson's, and this is my yield from last year of the wheat crop. And as you can see in the legend window, I have more than 10 yield layer breaks, which is telling me, okay, in that area, that much yield, in that area has this much field. This is something I'm telling you because later in the video, we're gonna use this layer break as a reference to mark out our zone number 1, zone number 2, zone number 3, and so on. Now, to start the process, what you need to do is you need to click on Setup. And from the side panel, you need to click on Fields. And from the fields, what you need to do is, first thing you have to do is create a management zone group and prescription group. So that is something will help you when you send so management zone group will help you to assign a rate or create a prescription, and you have to look at what management zone you want to use it for, what application. And prescription group is probably gonna help you to sort out or narrow it down to the prescription that you're looking for when you download a prescription or when you send a prescription straight to the display. So click on management zone group, and here, as you can see, I already have created a management zone group called FieldOps How To for the purpose of this video, and I have done the same to create a prescription as well. As you can see, my prescription group is called FieldOps How To. And once you do all those two, click on management zones, and in the new window of the management zone, from the bottom right hand side corner, you want to click on Add. So here you have three options. As I explained before, you can create a management zone on third-party applications, and if you want to upload it in here, in that scenario, you want to click to upload a shapefile. If you want to use your yield data, application data, biomass imaginary that you may have uploaded in here, soil mapping data that you may have uploaded in here for your reference and record keeping. For all of those applications that you're gonna use all of those layers as a reference layer, and then you're gonna create a management zone and a prescription. For that one, you wanna click on Create from Layer. And if you want to draw your management zone by soil type and from the Google Imaginary, and it's sort of a hand-drawn zone, then you can click on hand-drawn zones. Hand-drawn zone is not something typically people use, so we won't go any further in there. So let's say if you have a shapefile from third-party application as a management zone, you still have to put that in a management zone group, which we have created earlier, and select that group. And if you haven't created before, you just can write that name in here, and then you don't need to do that process earlier. And then you click Next, and then you click on select zone file, and then just locate that zipped folder wherever it may be. Either it can be USB stick, either it can be in the download folder because you have downloaded from third-party applications. Once you click that one, it will start uploading the file and processing the file straight away. Now let's go back to our option number 2, which is create from layers. As I told you again, our management zone will be same, FieldOps how to, that's our group name, that's where we're gonna put our newly created management zone. The method how to create a management zone, you can either let the software decide based on your minimum to maximum yield layer and how many zones you wanna have within that yield range. So software will break that down based on the number. So let's say I have 0 to 3 ton and I have 3 like a 3 management zone. It's gonna divide like 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, like that. But most of the time people prefer to have, they want to define the zones by themselves. So in that scenario, you click on custom breaks. I want to have 3 management zones. The detail level, smoothness is something you just leave as it is. It doesn't gonna make too big of a difference in your process. So just leave those selection as a medium. Your inner boundary filter, so there you have some options. So like selecting, removing the most, whatever the management zone that you are creating, and if you have any internal passable or impassable boundary map, you do not gonna have zone in there. It's gonna be considered as outside of your field area. Now that's being said, you do have an option further in the process where you can assign a rate how much you wanna spray outside of your zoning area. But this is typically something you do not do for your seeding applications. It is only for your spraying, especially herbicide spraying application. Nobody do for fertilizer applications either as well, because that's just the waste of the money. Now, hence, I'm recommending or I'm suggesting that you should click on remove the most. That's the most suitable option for you. And then you look at the layer or the data layer that you're gonna use as a reference layer. Click on layers. Select the field that you wanna create a management zone and prescription for. Here, something what you can do is, if you wanna do the bulk process, you can select multiple fields at a time as well. So that's something once you get mastered to this process, that's something I'm recommending you should do that way. But until then, you just go one field at a time. It's not that hard process to learn. It's just if you're doing first time, keep it too simple and then work your way from there. Let's select our yield layer. I'm gonna select yield dry as my reference layer. Click OK. Up until now, whatever the parameters that you were defining, that was for how you want to have your management zone. And if you want to create the prescription based on the management zone, then just simply say yes. If you just leave it to no, in the further few steps, all you're doing is defining the management zone. You have to start the process from scratch to create your prescription. And that can be something you're doing, since you're doing two separate processes, it can be time consuming as well. So my advice is, if you want to create a prescription, just say yes and keep continue the process by selecting next. I want to create a seeding map for my canola crop, and here in the input you do want to have your product as a canola as well, because if you assign a product and send it as a ISO XML to your display, then you do not need to create a product into the display. It just pop up itself. Or if you have any crops which can have multiple varieties of let's say canola can be defined as a normal canola or genetically modified canola. In the wheat there is heaps of varieties of the wheat. Then you wanna create that variety specific product. This is something you can do by clicking on edit or pencil symbol and keep going. Let's say canola -GM. So I have specified it's a genetically modified canola variety as a product, and it's in a seed. Manufacturer, you can just put it. If you do not find the one you there, that something doesn't make it too big of a difference. Plant something doesn't make it too big of a difference. Crop, canola, you have to specify the variety of what these varieties belong to what crop type. The rest of the option you can just leave it. Your unit cost, you do want to put it the right data, because this something will help you to budget or create a report after you finish your seeding operation. So I don't know the price, I'm just putting any dodgy number. It's gonna be, let's say, $500 per kilo seed. Let's say $100. 500 maybe too much. Track the rest of the stuff. You can skip it, that's fine. If you have any other products, then you should save and add more. Otherwise, just click on save. And I just created the product on the go. So this is something I like about the new FieldOps or old AFS and PLM portal, that if you do not need to specify your products before you start the process. If you haven't done that, specified that product before, you can just create at the time of the process. So because we have created our product now, let's try that product is popping up or not. Let's say canola, and here I have simple canola, and the new product that we create is a canola GM. The input unit is in a kilo. Create any activity, just leave it now, click on next, and here you define your management zone groups, breaks, sorry, not groups. So I want to have, let's say, 0 to 1, whatever is the yield below 1 ton, it's my poor yielding area. From 1 ton to 2.5 ton, that's something my average yielding area. And from 2.5 to 3 ton, that's my great yielding area. And I will assign a rate according to that as well. So let's say in a poor yielding area, because my soil type is not that great, or for XYZ reasons it's not yielding anything for a few years now, I want to keep it to my input cost minimum. So I'm gonna only put 1.5 kilo hectare canola. In the medium zone, I want to go 2.2 kilo a hectare canola, and probably where I'm yielding great, which is sort of area right in there, which you can see is in a blue area, I want to put it 2.4 kilo a ton. The whole strategy is I want to put less where I'm not yielding good. I want to put more where I'm yielding good. So I have a more canola plant per acre, and hopefully that results the better yield at the end of the harvest. Now this is just example for creating prescription for seeding. This phenomena cannot be helpful for your chemical applications or fertilizer applications. That's totally up to you and your agronomist. You should work out your way by talking to agronomists, and if you have idea, then go for it. It's totally up to you. Now out of the zone rate, since we are doing seeding and I do not want to waste my money, so it's gonna be 0. Loss of GPS rates, basically if I'm in the field which is quite hilly or something and I do not have a GPS signal for 10-15 minutes, I want to keep going. I do not want my seeder to stop seeding or stop putting the seed into the ground. So I'm going to put 2 kilo a hectare by default, right? Out of the field zone, it's going to be 0 for me because I do not want to seed outside of my field boundaries. And once I click finish, that task went into the background. Now this process can take 5 to 10 minutes to get it done, and then pop it under your field layer as a prescription and management zone. It all depends on how many field that you have selected to create a management zone. If it is more than 2, 5, 6, then it can be longer process as well. So it's totally up to you. And if you want to check the progress of that progress status of the task, then you just need to select on send and receive files, and you can click on progress status, and here you can see that I have created the management zone before they have been finished, and the current one is under process. And when that process is get finished, I definitely will have a pop-up green strip if the process is get finished successfully. Unfortunately, at this time, FieldOps is giving a false warning. Basically, process is get done successfully, but it sort of gives false warning that it hasn't been created. The management zone and prescription hasn't been created. So always go back to your field. So click on overview, go back. This is my 53 Stevenson field, and this is my management zone. So this is my management zone, and that's my prescription for canola. So as you can see, I have changed my management zone I have created this prescription earlier, so that's where I have changed my zone. And it was like 0 to 150, 150 to 220, 220 to 240, and according to so. Now, if you want to create a prescription based on the shapefile of the management zone that you have uploaded and you may have created on third party, what you want to do is you want to click on setup, you want to click on fields, and you want to go straight to prescriptions, and that's based on assumption that you have created your prescription group earlier. So now let's say click on add. Here, if you have created the prescription from external third-party applications and you want to upload as a shapefile, you can click on import shapefile option, where you can upload your file and put it on the existing group. So let's say we're gonna put our prescription in FieldOps how to. Season is something really important. Specifically, this is the year of 2024. By default, you're gonna have 2024 as a season because you are creating in this year, but you're not gonna do your seeding till the next year. So you wanna put your prescription into 2025 season. It has something to do with when you send your files and your overall season selection from your grower, farm, and season. It just navigates that way, which I will explain when I will explain how you can send data or prescription straight to your machine. This is not something to cover in this video. But what you have to keep in mind that the season number, you have to keep in mind that if you are going to carry out that task, or if you're going to use that prescription in the same year, then it has to be the same year. If you are doing something or planning something on the future, then you want to change season according to that. Then type is going to be the seeding, and once you finish uploading and click next, it will take your prescription straight in. But I want to show you how you can assign a rate to existing management zone. So I'm going to select use existing zones. My selecting group will be FieldOps how to. My season, since I'm going to create a prescription for seeding, I'm going to put it as a 2025. Let's just change it to 2024. I'm going to create a prescription for chemical applications. So in that arena, because I'm going to carry that task probably in the same month that I'm creating this prescription in, 2024, it's are going to be spraying. I do not want to create that as an activity. Select my field, let's say 54. Select the groups. If you don't know any particular group, then you can select all, and it will show you all of your management zone, and you can visualize it as well. So let's say, okay, click this is my management zone, click on next, and here is my application. And since I've selected chemicals, all of my parameters by default become liters a hectare. You can just find the product for your chemical applications. It can be anything. Since there is no chemical that I want to spray, it's not here, I'm gonna click on pencil. I'm gonna add glyphosate, GLY. I'm just gonna PH. It's a chemical. It's gonna be liquid category. It's gonna be herbicide. Manufacturer, I don't care. Active ingredient, it's gonna be it's a GLY. I don't know actually what's the active ingredients in glyphosate, so let's just say GLY. Percentage, it's gonna be 50% concentrated chemical. If it is a registered use, then make those choices and specify your rates, which is gonna be $12 a liter. I'm just putting the doji value, so do not quote me. Nor I'm an agronomist, so I do not have access to real life changing prices. I'm just putting Doji number for the purpose of this video, and I'm gonna select GLYP, and my product popped up under in there. So I select my product, my rates has been assigned. If I want to feel like to be changing, let's get change 40, 60, 80. Now here something what you can do is you can create a product mixture in a spraying scenarios as well. So you have glyphosate, you have adhesive, and you have water. Then you can form a product mixture which have those three ingredients in a specified quantity. So let's say you have 2 liters per 100 liters of water, maybe 100 ml of adhesive, and whatever extra chemical you have. So you form a chemical mixture. You can register that chemical mixture as a product, and you can select it in here, and then you assign the rates to it as well here. Out of the zone rate, since it is a herbicide application, I do want to spray in and around my field boundary, so I'm gonna go 50. Loss of GPS, I'm gonna go 50. Outside of the field, I'm gonna go 50, so I can kill the weeds around it. And I do not want to make any percentage change to my values in here, so I'm pretty happy with that. So click on finish, and that process is went back in the schedule, in the background, probably in a scheduled time. Now, as I said earlier, like our prescription is processed there, and the prescription that we have created earlier, it should be here. So this is the first two which I showed you earlier. So you can see I only the zone colors or zone rates, and this is the one I just showed you in this video, which has a bit of a different outlook. Hopefully you have learned something, and if any part of the video doesn't make a sense, then watch the video from beginning. Try to make yourself learn that way. Do follow and subscribe our YouTube channel, because we do have plenty of other videos on how to FieldOps or FieldOps how to. We also make videos on TeleView 12, which is the new display from CNH on FS Pro 1200. We have videos from TeleView 4 and Pro 700, which is the older displays. We also have videos from Raven screen. So if you do not find any other videos, please just comment on any of the videos that you do already watch, so we can make a videos on that for your future applications. Thanks for watching the video, and we will see you in the next one.